Hey, good morning, everybody. Rory Powers, Right Line Trading. This broadcast is for educational and demonstration purposes only. I am not a licensed financial advisor. If you're not familiar with the risks associated with trading, please consult with a licensed financial advisor. Okay, with that being said, let's get started. Hope everybody had a nice evening. We had some huge pre-market trades on the one-day passes. We'll go over those in just a moment. We're going to be trading the AI Auto Trader, and this is a system that can be traded fully automated, semi-automated, or on a discretionary basis. For this broadcast, we're going to do the automated entries. We're going to trade it on some Apex accounts. By the way, I was able to pass that account 13 yesterday, so that's a PA account now. So we'll trade the. I've got a couple other evaluations that were very close to the completion, the pass line. So we'll trade those. And what I normally do with those accounts is I let the system take them on an automated entry, and then I'll drag my stop or my profit target and manage the trade a little bit, trying to lock in as much profit as possible without giving back any unrealized gains. With the prop trading firms, our strategy we have to adjust it a little bit to conform to their rules and regulations. And I think that's really important to learn their rules and regulations if we want to get a payout. We have to know what their expectations are in order for us to qualify to get a payout once we do have that PA account. And we'll go over a few of those rules in this session as well. My haymaker strategy, that's the NQ30 range, just took this counter trend trade. For my prop account, I've kind of filtered these trades out, where I have a green 50 and it wants to take a short entry. Oh, this is actually a signal B. I believe I filtered these out as well. So we can make these strategies as conservative or aggressive as we want. But I think once we get our PA accounts and start getting qualified for these evaluations, we kind of want to cherry pick the entries that we want to take. With the risk of letting some winning trades go by, the goal is to filter out the losers. Really, with my PA account, my profit goal is anywhere from $300 to $500 a day. I want to do it consistently, and I certainly don't want to lose any more than that. Looks like the market is kind of filling in that gap from pre-market. That move up is kind of filling in now, and the haymaker is all over it. Good morning, Rao. I see gold is off to a good start this morning. Let me take a look real quick at the Forex Factory calendar. Today is Tuesday, June 4th. And we have JOLTS job openings at 10 a.m. I personally don't like to enable any strategies during these news reports. However, I do let them run through in sim just to see how it performs. Well, this is a beautiful trade. You can see the haymaker. This 30 range signal B, my Laguerre and my RSI line and my oscillator was locked to the downside. And it caught that entry nice and early right over here. A beautiful trade. And our retirement plan is still in it. So we have Jolts, the Jolts job openings at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Factory orders, 10 a.m. RCM TIPP economic optimism, tentative. All right, so it looks like that's really the big report coming out today is the Jolts job openings. 10 a.m. Let me write it on my notes. I don't want to forget. So crude oil. Yeah, I wanted to talk about that for just a moment because, I always say, one, it's good. Two is, one, you got lucky. Two, you got very lucky. But three, we might have something here that works. Again, this morning, at guess what time? 8:50. 8:50. So between 8:30 and 9 o'clock, the last three sessions that I've traded the system here on YouTube, the CL one-day pass got the winner between 8:30 and 9 a.m. The one-day pass is our prop trading templates that are customized to help pass the evaluations. If you've had trouble passing the evaluations or being consistent and getting to the finish line, this is a strategy that takes one trade, and win or lose, you'll know whether you pass the eval. And statistically, it's been, from what I've seen, right around 50%. Right around 50% of the time, these one-day passes have been successful. Hey, good morning, Steve. Are the times in the strategy the times the strategy actually trades? They're hard-coded for Eastern time, Steve. They are the times that they actually trade in Eastern time. Okay, now that the market filled in that gap, we're back to head it up. Hey, Charlie. I think today's Tuesday, sir. Tuesday, Wednesday, what's the difference, right? The minutia. No, that's absolutely true, Steve, and that's really what I wanted to talk about today. Is Steve makes a really good point with the consistency rules with Apex. Before that, we can request a payout. We have to have 10 sessions of trading. There's 2 payouts per month. You could submit your request between the 1st and the 5th and the 10th and the 15th. And when you make that request, you have to have 10 sessions that you've traded in. And to begin with, the first few times, the first 4 times to be exact, they have that 30% rule, where one trading session you cannot have more than 30% of your profits. So although the one-day pass is a great strategy for passing your evaluations, that wouldn't be the path forward once you are funded. We would take a much more conservative strategy and look to make $300 to $500 a day, and just look for consistency. Kind of setting up here. I usually like to let the system run from 9:30 to 10, just let the market get its direction. This is what my leaderboard looks like this morning. The crude oil one-day pass and the ES one-day pass got on the board. I have a Stevens strategy. Let's take a look and see what that Stevens strategy is. That's my 8 Unirenko on the Haymaker. It's a signal C. It's a pretty aggressive strategy. It has no filters. And normally if I'm in my Apex account or my funded account, I would disable that strategy at this point. There's no reason to give back any of that profit. My signal B on the NASDAQ, signal B gold, signal B NASDAQ, gold signal A's. So really quite a few a diversity of different strategies are doing well this morning. Let's put crude oil to the right edge of the chart, and let's take a look at another strategy on it. Looks pretty volatile. Let's go to the signal A. So how can we trade the ES as it trades 8:30 to 9? Okay, Rao. The one-day pass on gold. I'll get right back to you, Steve. Let me see what Rao is looking at. Oh, okay. I see what you see now. A gold one-day pass. Hasn't taken a trade yet, Rao. It's a signal A, so it's going to wait for a reversal. Let's take a look, Steve, at the ES, the trading hours. Here's a nice signal A on the NASDAQ 30 range. My RSI line just broke down through. I've got a cross on my chart. And if this next bar closes to the downside, that signal A strategy will be in the trade. Let's go to a signal A. Gold is headed down, down, down. All right, let's take a look, Steve. If I go to my strategies and I look at, we'll create a new strategy. And what I'll do is I'll load I'll come down to templates to load my ES strategy and select load. And then I'm going to find my ES. Let's just pick any one of them. We'll do the cash register and load it. So now my trading hours right now are from 8:30 a.m. Eastern to 10:30 a.m. Eastern. I can add a second session, maybe in the afternoon or after lunch. Maybe I want to trade from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. I can add an additional session. It's just important to understand that these are hard-coded for Eastern Time. So now this strategy will trade between 8:30 and 10:30, and then 1 to 4 for the afternoon session. But you could customize it to any times that you want to trade it. What time does our account start? From 8:30 to 10:30. The signal A on gold row is the one that it had a nice trade this morning. I have a really exciting strategy that we're testing. It trades the Russell on a 10 Unirenko, and I'm keeping an eye on it. It trades very infrequently. It might take 1 or 2 trades a day, but I'll show you the performance on it up to now. This is, it says May 4th, but it's only been trading a few days. Look at this. It's only taken 4 trades so far, but it hasn't lost. And it's up 878. And that's looking at a 10 Unirenko on the Russell. So I'll be keeping an eye on that. You'll see it if it comes up to my leaderboard. It's the RTY 10U here. It's right here. And it took a winner this morning. So if I put it to the 4th, it'll actually be even better. Excuse the phone. So here's another session. This will show the sessions that it's traded. Let's put it to daily. So it's traded 3 sessions. This is the 3rd session. So, not a lot of data. That's why I'm not getting too excited just yet. But very consistent. This could be the short roll on the NASDAQ here. It seems like the NASDAQ every day now has a meltdown at one time or another. Another metric that I really like to look at is on the bottom right-hand corner of the chart. We call this our RLV indicator. It's volume. It's how many contracts are crossing per minute. And really, the system is designed to follow in the direction of institutional money. And one way that we can identify when institutional money is at play is when that volume spikes. I think that's one of the first indications. And then we start seeing a big shift in momentum and then trend. And that's what this system is, based on mathematical modeling, is what it's designed to pick up. Okay, we didn't get the short roll there. Let's take a look at the gold signal B. It seems to be trending down. What's the video doing, Steve? It might be from my end. So how can we trade? Okay. Thanks, Scott. Thank you, Marcia. Hey, good morning, Marcia. Trying to get another short roll on the NASDAQ. Up to now, they have not been working. Getting some real sideways action here. A ranging market. Since the opening bell, the NASDAQ has pretty much gone sideways. So in order to not to get chopped to death, we're just going to wait. I like to look at crude oil and gold in these situations. Nice down move on crude. Russell setting up for a short. Let's take a look at the Russell signal B. Let me put my phone on silent for now. So what we're in the process of doing right now is we've got a pretty solid few strategies to pass the evaluations. Well, now, to take it to the next step, once we get funded, we want to stay funded. and we want to be able to make withdrawals and make some money. So we're in the process, and we have one now. It's the NASDAQ for PA accounts. It has very little risk. It doesn't allow for a lot of unrealized gains to come back on us, and it looks to lock in $300 to $500 a day. Well, we're going to diversify that portfolio of PA account strategies. That'll get us in and out of the market with a $300 to $500 gain, and just stop trading for the day. And if we're copying it in multiple accounts, even if we're not copying it in multiple accounts, it's gonna lead to consistency and steady profits. Here we go with the roll. Let's keep an eye on this NASDAQ headed short. It would be a signal B. It's appeared to want to do this earlier, but it never followed through. But it seems to be finding a direction now. Yeah, my signal B's jumped in. So this one passed us by, but that's okay. What we'll do is we'll play the signal A on the pullback to the 50. Let's see if this one matures to the downside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to anticipate this RSI line. Once it retraces to the 50, he's going to come up in this green area, and I'm going to look for another short roll tighter to the 50. So I'm going to let this one pass me by on the signal B. But what I'll do is I'll go to my strategies, and I'll enable the signal A. Just looking for those apex. Here it is. Okay. So we're going to go to the signal A on number 16. And I'm going to enable the signal A on this NASDAQ 30 range. And now we want it to pull all the way back to the 50 and then continue down. Here we go. Keep going up. A little further. It did just what we wanted it to do. So let's put it on 16. Let's see if we can get a short roll here. Now we're nice and tight to that 50. Give us a little stutter step there. Oh, the news report. I forgot. Uh, that Jolts just came out. Whoa, there it goes straight up. I lost track of time. Okay, that Jolts report just came out. Let's see our positions. Let's see what happened. I wrote it on my notes and forgot all about it. Almost fell right into it. So let's see what the news was. That was a jolt. Must have been a good report, I'm assuming. Here it is. Job openings. The number of job openings changed little. 8.1 million on the last business day of April. Our signal A jumped in on crude. The YM 1-day pass is in. Now, black gold has been one of our better strategies. Crude oil. And we might go back with our signal B. Our 15 is above our 50. Our TY 1-day pass is in. There it goes. So if I want to jump in, I'm going to do the same strategy. It got away from me. So I'm going to go back to the signal A on the NASDAQ and kind of look for the same thing we did last time. I'm afraid it's a little too far gone right now. The signal B is in. See the volume spike? Huge spike. You know, I might look to get in this short on the NASDAQ any way I can right now. Looking at the volume, they're really pushing the price of the NASDAQ lower. So I'm going to be happy with even a signal B. Try to get in on this short move on the NASDAQ. I prefer the signal A. I prefer to get this retracement and continuation. There we go. So let me take off the B. So we're just going with the signal A now. We're looking for a short roll. Whether it got up high enough, I'm not sure yet. It's very close. A little further up, we'll have it. Yep. That's the trade we're looking for. Our 15 is red, our 50 is red, 15 below the 50. This is the one we want to catch short. Come on. The one-day pass on gold rule. Still hasn't taken a trade. Come on. Let's see if we can get into this trade. And that pivot might be too close. This blue line is an area right now of support. It's not going to take an entry if I don't have a clear path of at least, I believe, is 60 ticks. So it prevented me from getting into that trade, which appears to be good right now. So it really saved us a loser right there. This ES signal A. Yeah, now we need a signal B. Oh, look at that ES. Look at that ES. that huge candle down. It's a nice trade on the E-mini. Just below the VWAP. Let me look and see, Rao, when that gold one-day pass is programmed to start. I believe we made an adjustment on the hours, 8:30 to 9, so it's done, Rao. It's not going to take a trade. Let's go back to crude. The one-day pass, Rao, is past its time on gold. YM. Look at the retirement plan. Holy moly. The retirement plan scored big. Caught that long trade. Caught that big candle up at the news report. Ah, these glasses. All right, we're looking for this break now through this area of support. Should pop us in if we get through this. Might have some room here to the downside. Yep, there it goes. Let's give it a little room. I'm going to back off it just a little bit here. Now our gear is locked. You can see my RSI line is locked down. So I'm not going to let the price action get me bailed out of this trade. Now it's starting to jump up a little. Let's hope it bounces off of this 15. More risk than I wanted to take on the trade, I'll tell you. Come on down. Right through there. Need about $400 or $500 on this account to get over the hump. I think it's at about 2,600. Oof, that was a big loser. 635 on one trade. So that that account there, that's the number 16. If we factor in that trade just now, oh, now it just went long. I didn't have time to disable it. Let's see what happens. Gonna have to really fight for that account now. Let's turn that one off. That was the signal B. It's a long entry. Yeah. That 1550 signal. That 1550 signal ensures that on a long trade, your 15 has to be above your 50 to go long. I took a long entry. My 15 was below my 50. So I made an adjustment just to make it a little more conservative. And I checked off the 1550 signal. Okay, so I got some ground to make up on that account tomorrow. The signal B drone. It's actually in a trade now. It's still in this long trade. Ooh, look at that crude trade, huh? That thing's headed up for the sky. Let's see what gold's doing, Rao. Still headed. Well, it's retracing now. You know what? We could get a gold signal A here. Yeah, my 15 crossed to 50 now. I'm going to look to take a gold signal A right now on account 17. Get this short roll here on gold to the downside. Not exactly, Rao. We do have a condition that I just showed. It's that 1550 signal. The 1550 signal, they have to be crossed. So although it's not a trigger, it is a condition that we can have as a prerequisite in order for the system to trigger. We might have jumped into the NASDAQ signal A there. No. Okay. Problem with gold right now is just kind of low volume. Let's see if it picks up here. I'm going to switch accounts on this. I'm going to put it on 17. Didn't get the entry. Well, it didn't take the entry because of this area right here. Prevented the trade. That area of support. You saw my RSI line cross, and it didn't trigger because I was right into that blue line. And this was an aggressive entry right here. Took the reversal on crude oil. Let's take a look at the leaderboard here. The Russell one-day pass. Crude one-day pass. ES 1-day pass. 1-day passes did extremely well today. 30 range signal B. The Stevens strategy. Retirement plan. I'm running the NASDAQ on a 20 Unirenko on a signal C entry, which is a test. The ES on a 6 Unirenko, signal C. ES on the cash register, and then the YM is on top here. So I've got the 30 range signal B. I'm going to also switch this one to 17. I don't want to take any more of a drawdown on 16. And I did get the PA account on 13. I just haven't traded it today. I saw Apex yesterday had extended their sale. So they're going to run the 90%. What did it say? June 11th? Another week. June 10th or 11th, another week. Our coupon code, if you're interested in trading the evaluation accounts, is right there on my, you could see it right over here, right above my cursor. Well, I'm in long NASDAQ, retirement plan and haymaker. Picked up on this shift of momentum. Yeah, I'm going to start using a trade copier. Yeah, I'm always reluctant to get another tool into the mix. Sometimes there's always a little bit of a learning curve, but it's nothing to be too concerned about. So I am going to do that, Rao. I was hoping to get that 16 over the hump today, but it wasn't to be. Hey, Brandon. Oh. Oh, man. I wish I knew that about it 45 minutes ago. I can't blame it on the data, though. I think things just didn't go my way. Thanks for the heads up, Brandon. I really appreciate that. Brandon just typed in the chat. You can read it there. He said that Apex Trader Funding posted in their Discord that they're doing an update on Rhythmic. And I did watch a video. They mentioned something about the server. That Rhythmic server, they were doing an upgrade or something to prevent any further issues like the ones they had last week. All right, I got my retracement on gold. So now I need this short roll again on this bottom chart. We're still kind of close to that blue area of support. Wow, my NQ30 ranges are in. Let me see if my, nope, my Apex didn't take it. Might have just taken it now. Wow, it's a beauty too. Yeah, it's in now on the NASDAQ. Keep going. Yeah. Look at that NQ30 range on the Signal B today. It's up $1,530. Wow. There goes crude. The 50 cross 200. Well, Look at this Steven strategy. Crushing it. Let's see what that Steven is. Is that the one with the no filters, I think? Let's take a look. That's the 30 range haymaker on the signal C. Let's take a look at the entries. That's the Steven. This is the signal C. Entries. And what it's looking at is an 8 Unarenko. So if I change, I'm just going to load about 1,500 bars. Unarenkos can take a lot of resources. And we'll put this on a Unarenko bar. And this is the new signal C. 82040, I believe it is. And you can see it looks for that pullback and then continuation up. Or it'll take a reversal. It was headed up here and then jumped into the reversal down. So this could be a trend trade or a counter trend trade. This one has no filters. So this is a pretty aggressive strategy. Oh, my bars got really weird there. Oh, look at that crude oil trade. I want to show you what I normally do with these trades here. Another way to manage these trades, and I've shown this on YouTube before, is if I see I'm up 380 or 400 on the trade, and my stop is a little too far back, but I still want to give it room. What I could do is, where you see my stop, the tag, it says 1 by STP, right here. I'm going to right-click my mouse on it, and I'm going to attach it to an indicator, and then select Properties, and I'm going to find that Modified Fast. It's usually the third one down, and I'm going to select that and click OK. And now my stop is pinned to my 15 EMA. So that's our momentum-based trailing stop. It's always a big, fight in my mind. How tight do I want to squeeze this? And I think that makes a decision based on the technicals. Here goes the signal B again. This market wants to push up. So we're seeing a lot of volatility here. Big swings up and down. But the signal B is doing really well. Might be in this trade on my Apex on my 17. Let's take a quick look. Yep. I think what I'll do is I'll pin it to my stop again. I don't want to squeeze it too tight. I Dan, in my opinion, it's based on the market conditions. If it's a straight up market and it's just trending in one direction, and there's not a lot of volatility, then I think the signal B does better. But on the other hand, the signal A, just the way the market moves naturally with that up and down, it's just not a one-directional, market that just goes in, straight up or straight down. There's always those retracements and pullbacks. So in that regard, I like the signal A. My favorite entry is that signal A with the 15 and 50 signal enabled to red and green. Those are my favorite entries because you get in very tight to the 50, and market structure-wise, your 15 and 50 are in agreement. So my favorite entry is really the signal A with the 15 and 50 conditions enabled. And I also like the 15-50 signal because I want my 15 to be above the 50 on a long trade and below the 50 on a short trade. Let me give this just a little more room here. It's wanting to push up for me. We'll leave it on the 15. I have very little risk on this trade right now. Coming into some upside resistance. Come on, push up for us. All right, so this one's down 265. There's a lot of upside resistance there. It's showing a cross, but I don't believe it'll take the long entry, only because those volume zones are right above us. This is, I tell you, this is a typical crude oil trade. These are these signal A trades on crude. Wow, look at that Steven account. It's up 2,100 now. That's that 8U on the signal C. I believe it's the same one that yesterday Mark was up about $2,400, as high as 2,600 or 2,700 at one point. I'm going to disable it because if I get over 2,000, I don't want to give any of it back. So that to me hit the profit target. Now the YM 1-day pass is at 37.65. Here comes the signal B. You have this signal B. I missed that entry on gold again. Retirement plans had a great day today. It's at 1,270. That's this top chart up here. Now it's at 1,040. It's looking to take that short roll. I kind of like it. Damn, I'm a little late. Let me see if I can get into it. Crude wasted no time. It jumped right back in long. Took a $500 winner short, and immediately went in long. Oh, I'll tell you, today wasn't my day. I'm going to disable these on my Apex. I'm definitely not a pain freak, and let me make sure I'm not in a position. Nope. Okay, good. So obviously, we're not going to win every day, and today was a perfect example of a losing day for me. Personally, the system, though, I had the opportunities. Just unfortunately, it didn't go my way. So let me put this back on the 30 range, signal B, which made $1,500 today, and the retirement plan is up about 1,000. Now it'll come. Now that it wicked me out, it'll follow through and go all the way down. Hey, Gene. I'm going to trade my live account with the micros. I'm going to start doing that. And when I use the Apex accounts, normally I use one contract on the E-minis. I'm just trading evaluation accounts today. I am going to experiment around with the micros. I've had some really great trades with the micros. I used to trade them when we first started doing the YouTube. Yeah, but Dan, it is kind of a sideways market. You're right. Not an easy day. I am kind of excited about that crude oil one-day pass. I gotta admit. If I go to the data, this is the performance of the crude oil one-day pass. It's taken 15 trades, and it has a 53% win rate. Let me make sure no other accounts are checked. Yeah. This is the crude oil one-day pass. At 8:30 to 9. This is broken down by the half hour. Hey, Gene, let's go. Can I give you a call? I'm going to take a lunch break after this is over, but I would like to give you a call. Here we go. This is this short roll we were looking for. Let's see if there's some follow through this time. As choppy as it's been coming back and chopping us to pieces. on the trades that I've taken on my Apex account. This was a nice signal B entry. Very tight to the 50. It's a nice trade. The retirement plan is going to ride this one. It's going to hold this position. The retirement plan is on a 2-minute data series. Doesn't get wicked out as easily. Yours didn't jump in, Kim? The 30 range or the 2-minute? Two-minute. Gotcha. This was our top strategy last month. Let's take a look at the numbers. This is this month here. The retirement plan's off to a great start of June. Would have made perfect sense. Gene, this is a major factor of deciding which strategies to use. I always say, what have you done for me lately? Because I know historically how they perform, and and they're very streaky. So if I look at my performance this week, these current, the current market conditions that we're in. So what have you done for me lately? Meaning the last 2 or 3 or 4 sessions. This one here is up just under $2,000. So this would come right up to my, to the top of my radar as a good strategy to put into a funded account. The 30 range is like an addiction. It's I always refer to it as it's fast and sexy. It's like a Maserati or a Ferrari, and it's fun to trade. The 2-minute is a little, more deliberate, a little slower, not as fast. The one thing that I think is important to know is that this retirement plan strategy, any one of our named strategies, like the cash register, the haymaker, the ones that are not bots or drones, are not leveraging the AI integration. So your profit target and your stop isn't going to adjust. So if you see you're in a ranging, choppy market, like we're kind of in now, you might want to move your profit target in. Your bot and drone are going to do that dynamically and automatically. But your name strategies, like the retirement plan, it's not going to move your stop and profit targets. In a ranging market, you might want to consider moving those in a little tighter. The Nightbot is back. What's a good word to call these? I know I read an article about NVIDIA, and they were talking about how, they're making like robots that are almost human. They're like, they call them humanoids or something, that are capable of, having behaviors just like regular human beings. And the chatter is that they're going to be able to take over all of our jobs. That there'll be no need for humans to have a job anymore. It's going to all be robots. And I heard them say it a few years ago, and I dismissed it. I thought, oh, that's impossible. But the CEO of NVIDIA, I think his name is Huang, or it's an Asian name. Genius, brilliant guy. Oh my God! But the stuff that they're coming out with, and you see what's happening with the stock on NVIDIA. It's in fact, next Monday, it's going to split 10-1. They say that NVIDIA, if you combine Tesla, Google, Amazon, like the top 5, companies, you add all of their, assets and their net worth, add them all together, and they don't reach what NVIDIA has. And the CEO, if you have a chance to read that article, of what they're developing and what they've already developed, they just haven't released yet, is, it's almost scary. But I said all of that because I saw Nightbot come back, and that's one of those, fake people. I didn't realize it was a fake person until I was watching Mark Miller, and I saw him come in, and then somebody had made a comment, and he like tried to correct the person about the comment they made about it like being in all caps or something. And I said, "Oh no, the Nightbot got me." Well, you see, was the retirement plan's trying to push through. So what I do, Gene, is, and this is going back to Gene's question about making a decision on which ones to trade. I think a really important component to that is when when Charles sets us up, every single bot and strategy have its own separate account, SIM account. And the reason we do that is so we can track the historical performance of each individual strategy. So to pull up your trade performance on NinjaTrader 8 and having the ability to check off each account one at a time to see how it's traded. So, I like to look at the what have you done for me lately. I know in my mind what they do historically over the course of months. But because these strategies are very streaky and market conditions change, I like to look at, what's hot right now. And that's why I start, running the strategies at about 7:30 a.m. So by the time 9:30 or 10 rolls around, I could have a good indication of what's working in the current session. And then I go back on my trade performance, and I look over the last 2 or 3 or 5 sessions of how each individual one is doing. This new signal C on the 6-unit Renko is very promising. In the very near-term future, if the test results continue on like the ES and this RTY 10U, looks like it had a bad day today. Oh wait, there must be something else. Oh, it wasn't the RTY, was it? I saw one this morning. Yeah, I think it was the RTY. Let's see this Steven strategy. It's a break-even strategy with no filters. So after we run a strategy like that, Steven, with no filters, we can go back and look at all the entries and then decide which filters are the best to implement to take out the losing trades. So this one came all the way back on me and jumped right in long. Picked up the shift in momentum. But if it was me trading this, I would definitely bring my profit target down, into the range here, beneath this area of resistance. We let these run without, interfering with them so we can collect the data on them. But if this was a live trade, I wouldn't leave my profit target where it was. And you know what? It's done really well today. It's made 1,095 today. ES cash registers up 400. Why do we not have a default signal B strategy? That's a good question, Dan. We tried it. We tried that, and what we found was that it gets in a little too late on a 2-minute bar on the NASDAQ. once that gear gets pinned, either up or down, on a 2-minute bar, we're a little late to the party. And that was the genesis of the Nighthawk strategy. That was our reverse strategy. Here we go with the signal B. That might have put us into the signal A, excuse me. Nope. Yeah, I think we read the same article, Brandon. I think we read the exact same article. You know what I did, and I had some money sitting in my trading account in Thinkorswim, but anticipating, I know I'm so late to the party, it's ridiculous. 2 years ago, when we saw Paul Pelosi move all of his assets into NVIDIA, that was the time to do it. But you know, sometimes it's better late than never. So, anticipating the 10-to-1 split, what I did yesterday, I bought 10 shares of NVIDIA, and next week it'll split 10-to-1. It'll turn into 100 shares, and then I can write do covered calls against those 100 shares of NVIDIA, or I could just hold on to them. But after reading about what they're doing, my goodness, I think that's going to be these big corporations, these big companies are going to replace a lot of their employees with that new technology. Looks like volume has kind of waned on the NASDAQ. I was just sitting here debating whether to try to jump in, but it really hasn't been much follow through, and I see we're about to hit 1,000 contracts a minute, which isn't bad. But when it's cranking 2, 3, 4,000, those are the trades I love. That's amazing. It's incredible, Dan. And the owner of the company, or the CEO, I think his name is Huang, if I remember correctly. But they say the guy's like super down to earth. That he was at a conference and he spoke for 2 hours about the new technology, and that was the article that I read of. And what he said in that 2-hour dissertation was what I mentioned earlier. But afterwards, like all of the executives that had attended, they were all leaving in their limousines and everything like that. And this guy flagged down a yellow cab and jumped in the back, and he's just a really down-to-earth guy. Yeah, we were all saying like a year or two ago, well, Paul Pelosi got the stock tip. He's in NVIDIA, but we didn't do anything. What was I thinking? Crude oil, listen, this crude oil strategy is no joke. You can see we're right back in, and I'm going to attach it again. Crude oil is a really good strategy because there's very little risk. You're risking 15 ticks, $150 on the mini, or $15 on a micro. And it potentially could go 90. $96 billion. That's just amazing. Well, I got to tell you, that technology that they're developing, it's a little scary. I'm telling you. It's like how are we ever as humans going to compete with this? They don't have my justification of not being too paranoid about it was like, well, they can't do this and they can't do that, but if you read about it, they're making it so they can do just what a human can do. The military, I know the military has to be all over it. I know they're using drones now big time. I'm a little disappointed that I've missed out on crude. It's one of my favorite strategies, and I always highlight it in my webinars because it just, man, the thing just does so well. Let's take a look at at our crude templates. We saw the 1 day pass. Very weird. The black gold is only up 156. The signal AI bot. Let's go back. One day passes this month is up 454. 156 black gold, 285 AI bot. Let's see what the drone is up. Drone is actually down for the month, so it's got some work to do. Signal B. Uh-oh. So far this month, this trade might make a big difference to the P&L. Okay, last trade, and then we're going to call it a day. Let's see what happens with this crude, with this haymaker. Yeah, but I had to pay over $1,100 per share, like $11.30, I think it was. So it wasn't cheap. But the way that thing's been going up, I would have made more money just buying shares of stock in that than trying to trade options. I'm not a very good options trader, but the returns on NVIDIA has just been incredible over the last few years. How am I pulling it up? On your control center, go to New Trade Performance, Dan. new, trade performance. And then it'll come up just like this. And we really make, with all the decisions that we make, they're all based on the data, the performance. If you go to your analysis, it'll show you, if I put it on daily, I'm sorry, if I go to my trades, it'll show you what the bots and the drones are looking at is this maximum adverse excursion, is how much heat that you're taking on the trades, and the maximum forward excursion, or favorable excursion, the MFE, is how much profit, how many ticks in profit it was. This one was 73 ticks. This one was 48 ticks, with only 40 ticks of heat. This one went 730 with only 20 ticks of heat. So this is how that closed loop system is able to optimize where our stop and profit target should be. And it's in that closed loop system. And it's adjusting your stop and profit targets based on these metrics, the MAE and the MFE. So that trade performance tool in NinjaTrader is really our best friend with this system. All right. Well, listen, it's almost 11:30, and my stomach's talking to me over here. So for my trading today, listen, I gotta wear it like a pimple on the end of my nose. We did get 13 passed. That's a PA account now, but 16 today. Was minus 890. If I go back, and you'll see I was close on it. I was at 26.25 was my high on it. Now I'm down to about 15.40. So today, on my Apex accounts, what I wanted to show was that it was a losing day. That was on account 16 and account 17. I lost 495. I try to keep it under 500. 16 kind of popped me into a long position at the last second and went a little higher than I wanted to lose. But listen, the system really gave me several opportunities to do well today. There was a number of strategies that performed extremely well. The 30 range signal B was at the top. My signal C with no filters on an 8 Unorenko, that was the number one strategy. Then it was my signal Bs on the Haymaker. My retirement plan ended up at about 860. The Dow Diamond about 420. This is a new strategy. The signal C on a 6 Unorenko was up 437. My Dow was up 420, Dow Diamond. My cash register was up 400. The new signal C on the 20 Unorenko was up 400. YM signal B plus 325. And then I had the gold signal A's. So there's quite a number of different strategies that ended up in the green today. If we look at the bot on this signal B, I'm curious to see where the profit target would be. Right here it's at 18,568. Here it hit the P&L. So my signal B bot hit the daily profit target at 2,000. The drone, I believe, is going to continue to trade, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So the signal B today, Dan, I was focusing on the signal A, I think, but the signal B was the way to go. If it breaks through here, this one could potentially go all the way. Oh, there we go. It's retesting it. Yeah, got the P&L, 2,100. So huge day for the haymaker on the signal B. On the signal B haymaker. Let me see here up top. Other than the one-day passes, the signal B bot and the signal B drone both broke 2,000. So a huge day for the haymaker. And listen, I want to thank you guys for joining me today. God willing, we will be back tomorrow and try to do a little better than I did today. Have a great day, everybody. I'm going to take a quick lunch break, and then if you were going to give me a call, I'll be back at about 12:15. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.